Andrew Yang's vision for New York City's Jewish community. Andrew Yang is running for the mayor of New York City. I don't know who else is running, so I guess he's a front runner. So January 22nd, 2021, my vision for New York City's Jewish community, Andrew Yang. I was on the Lower East Side on Sunday with my wife, Evelyn, for a small business tour. In my 25 years in the city, I visited the neighborhood countless times for any number of reasons, to eat at Russ and Daughters or Kanji Village with friends, visit the Tenement Museum, or ride my bike before linking up with the Manhattan Bridge. But on Sunday, while meeting with the business owners, workers, or customers, okay, so he goes on, and I'm sure this is real interesting and thoughtful, but Richard Medhurst pointed out that Andrew Yang is opposed to the BDS movement. A Yang administration will push back against the BDS movement, which singles out Israel for unfair economic punishment. Not only is BDS rooted in anti-Semitic fault in history, harkening back to fascist boycotts of Jewish businesses, it's also a direct shot at New York City's economy. Strong ties with Israel are essential for a global city such as ours, which boasts the highest Jewish population in the world outside of Israel. Our economy is struggling, and we should be looking for ways to bring back small business, not stop commerce. So, let's see. We'll go ahead and just, I'm pretty sure that was from this letter, but just, yeah, there it is, okay. A pluralistic democracy is not an easy model to maintain, especially during a time of profound economic change. We have to work at it. And, of course, as mayor, I'll respect religious freedom. So, wow, okay. BDS means boycott, divest, and sanction. If we Americans don't have the right to spend our money where the fuck we choose, what do we have a right to do? I mean, the Bill of Rights, right to assemble, free speech, all that is basically thrown out the window, and so you would think that we could spend our money where we want to spend it. That's economic activism. So, BDS is boycott, divest, and sanction. Israel needs to be sanctioned for their treatment of Palestinians. It's an apartheid state. It's bullshit. They don't go along with the U.S. policy of a two-state solution. They count every single calorie that goes into it. It is an open-air concentration camp. It is an open-air concentration camp. They kill Palestinians every week. Let's just Google and see if we'll find some atrocity that Israel has done to Palestine. Right now, Israel is bombing a bunch of people in Syria. So, Palestine. Just type Palestine, go to Google News. So, let's see here. Anything Palestinian Authority, we are waiting to hear from the Biden administration. Israel concerned over Biden's stance on Iran and Palestine. Really. Palestinian children injured amid surge in settler violence. Settler violence rights group says Palestinian prisoner dies in Israeli jail of unknown causes. PA Premier Abbas to run as Fatah candidate in the presidential election. Filmmakers denounce Israeli ban on the Palestinian documentary Jenin. Israeli officials concerned over Biden's stance on Iran and Palestine. Acting U.S. ambassador to Israel inadvertently reverses Trump-era Palestine policy upon taking control of official. What? All right, so there's two things there. You had a Palestinian prisoner dies in Israeli jail of unknown causes. Does Andrew Yang not hear about this stuff? Oh, what? They threw a rock? They're under, they're being oppressed, and one of them threw a rock. So, Maher Salsa, M-A-H-E-R, like Bill Maher, Sassa, S-A-A-S-A, Sassa. Maher Sassa received a COVID-19 vaccine one day before his death, but the cause of death is still unknown. Interesting. Was it the vaccine? Well, what did they actually give him a shot of? Palestinian prisoner in Israeli jails died in unclear circumstances. He was 45 years of old. He's from the occupied West Bank town of Kwaquila. Died on Wednesday in Rimonim prison north of the Israeli city of Tel Aviv. They said that Sasa, a father of 6, had received the coronavirus vaccine shot. 2 groups said that they hold Israel fully responsible for his death, as well as the life and well-being of all Palestinian prisoners in its jails. and there's been no comment from Israel. Since the beginning of the pandemic, 290 Palestinian prisoners in Israeli jails have been infected with the coronavirus. So there you go. A father of 6, 45-year-old who didn't need to die. Why did he die? Hey, Andrew Yang, why did Maher Salsa die? Why did Maher Salsa need to die? That was one article, and that was just, random Google. So, Palestinian children injured amid surge, settler violence rights group says. So, human rights group says that they have seen a rise in settler violence in the occupied West Bank in recent weeks. Here's a picture of a blue car with the driver's side in the back. Driver's side window looks like it was shot out or punched out. This is the car that the boy was traveling in, according to the Israeli rights group Yesh Din. So January 23rd, 2021, NBCnews.com, a recent surge in settler violence has seen 14 Palestinians injured, including 2 children in the occupied West Bank, according to an Israeli human rights group, Yesh Din, which documents attacks on Palestinians and seeks to end the Israeli occupation, said a large number of intersections in the West Bank has been blocked by settlers Thursday evening, and stones had been thrown at Palestinian vehicles. Jad Softa, a 5-year-old from Tuba City in the West Bank, was injured around 10 p.m. local time Thursday as the Gavat Asaf Junction near the city of Ramallah, Palestinians' administrative base in the West Bank. It added the group shared a photo of the boy who appeared to have scratches on his cheek and lower lip. January 17th, an 11-year-old Palestinian girl also sustained injuries to her face as a result of stones thrown by Israeli settlers. So it's the Israeli settlers, they're the ones throwing the stones, they're the ones shooting the guns, they're the ones throwing people into prison and having them die. These latest incidents say there's a rise. They were saying that there's a rise. There's a police chase. Let's see, West Bank, December 21st. Israeli police used water cannons to disperse West Bank Jewish settler youth during a protest against Israeli police after the death of Ahuvia Sandak in Jerusalem on January 2nd. So what's that about, Andrew Yang? Did Ahuvia Sandak need to die? The settlers are angry about what they see as bad treatment by Israeli police toward them and over the death of the settler Ahuvia Sandak. Mihai said the group had documented close to 50 incidents of settler violence against Palestinians since Sandak's death, during which 14 Palestinians were injured. He said the group could not compare that figure to past data because it did not record all cases of settler violence. Palestinian Prime Minister Mohammed Shataya on Thursday condemned the attacks in the West Bank and called on President Joe Biden's administration to do the same. A spokeswoman for the Israeli police said it was deployed at points of friction. All right, so there you go. The Israelis are injuring Palestinians left and right, killing them left and right. And Andrew Yang says that we shouldn't boycott Israel, we shouldn't divest and sanction them. We put sanctions on Venezuela. We put sanctions on, was it Yemen or Syria? So we're going to, sanction nations that need food aid. And the nations that are oppressing and hurting other people, we're not going to sanction them. We do need to boycott. We do need to divest. Do not spend your money on Israel. Israel is a theocracy, and they're the oppressors. Sir Andrew Yang is wrong when it comes to the BDS movement. Peace.